in terms of what we can do to reduce the instances of crime and make the place safer, what we aim to do is to not let crime pay. If there are people who believe they can commit crime with impunity, they will do it and others will join them, so there's an increase. But we have to have systems in place where for those who have broken the law and create especially violent crimes, that they are held to account and to be held to account in a very real and effective manner, and then we get justice on time. Unfortunately, much of that is not happening. I mean, I can't understand for the life of me. In fact, it is no good business. And the criminals know it, eh? If you manage to be apprehended, there's a very good chance that you will be getting grandchildren before your case comes up in the courthouse. And that is an area of serious concern to me. The police do a significant amount of good work, and they will apprehend somebody. And for some reason, the process of bringing that person to getting a jail cell or whatever conviction brings for them is now something to take place in the nether future. And then, of course, by the time the case comes around, the outrageous nature of the crime seems to have been reduced because that happened so long ago. That is 15 years ago. The other day I was looking at a situation where a woman was complaining that she was raped 15 years ago and was in the courthouse still talking about the matter and wanting to know when the case will be tried. That, to me, is a bigger problem than talking about the Prime Minister need to change the Minister of National Security. And many people who work in the area of managing the affairs of criminals, one of their strongest defense is Mr. Delay. And we need to get serious about that, because I have seen in countries where there were serious crime problems, they eliminated delays, they bring people to court, they dispense with them, remove them from the society, and it has brought down the crime. We are seeming to be going in the opposite direction. Opposite direction. When I grew up, we were no more barbarous than we are now. And when I grew up, if you were charged for murder, you had no bail to get. And I never knew about anybody killing any witness. But in this environment, this is when we are now talking about English conditions, where you get bail for murder, and you come out and you have a gun again. What the hell did you expect? And we are following other people's situations which are not fit for our situations. And I'm saying this as a citizen, because I will say the same thing when I'm not in this job. Because we need to get serious. I mean, sometimes I read the papers every day. I can tell you all that. Every day, the first thing I do, sometimes the last thing I do before I go to bed, I read the papers, depending on what time I'm going to bed. And I want to know what the country is being told, what happened in the country. And the two things that get to me when I read the papers, one is when people, especially children, are hurt in violent crime. And two, when people use the system of justice in a way where you say they benefited. The perpetrator has benefited, not the victim. That gets to me. And I feel helpless in that situation, because there's always some reason and some excuse. And I'm not really attacking anybody personally. I'm just talking about this, that famous word, the system. Right? We have people out on bail who are conducting criminal business. And part of the business is paying the lawyer and paying the bailman, and it's a business to carry on. And the system facilitates it. because the system is skewed towards the rights of those people and not the rights of the victim. And until we begin to look at some of these things from that perspective, they'll be laughing at us all the time. Because Mr. Delay, right, diminishes the horror of crime when crime takes place. So we need to be able to dispense justice faster and more effectively.